Black Friday. Those are two words that we have been hearing constantly for probably like the last 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, depending on who has been planning on selling at Black Friday and who is always looking for Black Friday deals. So we think this conversation is incredibly important because we have gone through a lot of Black Friday FOMO buying. And it's really easy to fall into the trap of Black Friday when you are not being very conscious of what you are thinking and how you want to spend moving into this season. Okay. So Black Friday can be fun. It can be a lot of like excitement and oh my gosh, it'll never be this low again. I'll never get it at this deal again. I have to buy now. And in some cases, that might be true. But in most cases, it is just like my dad has always told me there is never a last best deal ever in the history of anything. So, we want to talk to you about Black Friday and how you can be really true to your values when it comes to what you want to spend your money on for Black Friday, for business and for personal, because both of them apply here. And we want you to kind of have some filters that you can run these purchases through to decide if you are going to purchase or not going to purchase, because marketing will get you every time, and sometimes it's not a conscious buying decision, right? It's like an add to cart. I have to do it now. She says there's only 10 minutes left. Like, let's buy it and it's going to fix everything. So, we're going to talk first business. More than likely, we're going to talk business first, but this really applies to personal too, because the ads have already started coming out. The Instagram ads are already out. Like, as I'm going through business content, there's like Target ads and Amazon ads and all of these ads coming out that's like the best Black Friday deals ever. And I can already feel like a twinge of anxiety coming up when I see Black Friday everywhere. And I know I can't be the only one. So, we're going to talk Black Friday. We're going to talk sales. We're going to talk spending and how you can consciously decide what you will participate in and what you will not participate in, and feel really good about those decisions. So, one example that Marley and I were talking about before we got on here was like, okay, I want you to think about your business. And is there one area specifically that you know you need help in? So Marley and I have been talking a lot about email marketing, right? Like, I hate writing emails, but I like to read emails. Marley likes to write emails, but where is the time? Like, where does this fit into our business? So this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, email marketing and how it fits into the business. So if somebody were to, that we've been following for a while, okay, let's insert that there. It's not just somebody who pops up out of nowhere and is like, oh, I have an email marketing strategy that's $500 off for Black Friday. If we've been following somebody for a long time and we've really been paying attention, we're invested in what they're saying, we like their strategy, we like their personality, and something comes up on Black Friday that they're offering that fits into our business and fits into what we want to spend on this, that is probably a better decision than some random course that comes up that's like, oh, I could probably use that. And you slap down your credit card and it goes to your inbox, and you probably, if you're anything like me, never even open that course or whatever it is. So we want to talk to you about how it's possible for you to make those decisions too. And you can start today. You can start thinking about what you do want to look for and want to put your blinders on from today before Black Friday even gets here.
Yeah, I think that like what you just described is the definition of aligned spending, when the thing that you want to buy fully aligns with the goals that you have, with the budget that you have, with the direction that you're heading in your business. And I think that often, especially that when this comes up in Black Friday so much, often we can convince ourselves that we need something. We can convince ourselves that hiring a coach is going to be the thing that solves everything in my business, or hiring someone to help with emails is suddenly going to increase sales. We can convince ourselves that like this thing that I want is the thing that is going to change everything. And I think that we've all been burned by that concept many, many times, because we sometimes we think like if we spend the money, it'll solve the problem that I have, because we aren't fully aware of what is our next best step in our business. And so when it comes to your money, that can be a real stinger, because your bank account can be left with, you feeling like you can't afford things because you keep investing in things to try to solve problems. So this is what we talked about personally in our business at the end of, I can't even remember now, it was at the end of last year, Becca, we decided in 2023, we were not going to hire a coach, because we have both been like, we can trust ourselves. Like, we have really invested in ourselves. We have done the game of really getting help and getting mentorship and learning skills. Like, we have so much to give to ourselves and to our business and to our clients. And we decided that 2023 was going to be the year of trusting ourselves and figuring things out and utilizing our team. We have an incredible VA, and we really trust one another. And so this year was a year of, we can trust ourselves. And now we've been having more conversations as we're heading into 2024 of like, okay, what do we want to do? And by the way, I did end up taking a course this year because it was aligned with the goals that we had. So just because we set this goal doesn't mean it was like this black and white thing, but it made us very intentional around what are we going to spend our money on. Heading into 2024, as you mentioned, email marketing, Becca, we've been talking about email for a very long time, and knowing that our email strategy needs some help, because like you mentioned, I like writing emails. I don't like writing emails. I like coming up with the system for the email, but I want someone else to actually write the email, or I'll like give them an outline and then have them make it really pretty. But we really like coming up with a strategy of things. And then we want someone else to help us really like put in, their expertise into the conversion of the emails. And so that has been something that we are like, okay, maybe instead of spending money on a coach in 2024, we put our money towards hiring people to do the jobs that will fill the gaps in our business that we know we have. And our email system right now is somewhere that we're having a lot of conversations. We're working a lot with our team on. Our automation program that we have right now has a few bumps that are frustrating us. So there's a lot of reason for us to look at, okay, if a Black Friday sale came up around email marketing, this might be something that we really consider around specific people that we've been vetting for a while. So we have learned to be very like holstered in our buying, because we're not anymore buying out of desperation, buying out of a place of, I need help, I need someone to fix my business. No, we don't need anything fixed. Our business is amazing, but it has so much room to be even better. And so that shift in our mentality around spending has been a game changer for our bank account's bottom line.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So you want to say something?
Well, no, you finish and then
Well, I was just going to say, like, there's some questions that we want to share with our audience today. So we can kind of shift towards sharing with them how we navigate some of these decisions when they come up, or when Becca goes, okay, Marley, this is what we usually say to each other, where we hop in our voice messaging app. We use Voxer right now, and we'll go, okay, don't kill me.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
You always know there's going to be like I want to do this thing. And it's going to take us having a conversation around it. Because it's something that we said we weren't going to do, but I'm thinking about it. Like I've got the itch, I've got the FOMO. And so then we either talk each other out of it, talk each other through it, ask really good questions. And we always have a really good conversation around these conversations. And we always laugh every time we bring it up to each other. It's always really funny because then it's like, okay, now we get to navigate. And I think we love navigating these kind of conversations.
I don't know that we in real life, like in real time, like navigating them, but it's nice when you're on the other side of it, when the decision's been made one way or the other, or the decision's been made to table it. Like they're in the back burner. Let's come back to this January 1. And I'm like, okay, we could do that. Like nobody told me no. I don't like to be told no ever. Like, I mean, that's just my whole personality, my whole life. Ask my parents. But there are times where I need to be like restrained a bit, because that's just the nature of, honestly, entrepreneurship and being on social media. You see so much and it convinces you that that's the thing that you need. Speaking of social media and speaking of being convinced and like restraining yourself, this goes for personal personal money and personal budgeting too. So I was on Amazon a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was the first Prime Day. P.S. Prime Day is coming back around, okay? Prepare yourself, people. Prime Day is coming back, and they're going to tell you it's the last best deal ever. It was
Unboxing
just
day.
the last best deal October 10th and 11th when it happened last month. It's going to be similar this month. It's going to be similar the next time they run it. Like just know that, right? We're not saying Amazon's bad. We're not saying buying anything is bad. Here's what happened though. I was on Amazon and this game popped up that looked so fun. And it wasn't just the game. They had like this video on Amazon in the app of a family playing this game. And I was sucked right in. And I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so much fun. My kids would love playing that game. And I added it to cart. And I was like, wait, time out. Time out a second. You're like complaining about all the games that are pouring out of the closet already that you can't stand. Like, why do we have so many games? We don't even play these games. The kids don't even like these games. Why are you going to add to that? Why are you going to add to that? And I was like, okay, I deleted it from the cart. And I was like, yes, it looks fun. Hopefully, one of our friends will have it at their house and we can play it one time because that's literally what happens here. But can you like, do you see how easy that was? They showed a video of a family playing this game. And I was like, yes, I can see my family playing that game. Add to cart. And it was like $10. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't going to make or break our budget. But I recognized immediately I'm complaining about these games all the time. And this marketing strategy made me add another one to my cart. And if I wasn't paying attention, it would be here adding to the chaos that is already our game closet. Like you can't even walk into it to pick a game. And
And
that's what it is.
that's
So
what we call brain space. That would have eaten up a lot of your brain space, just knowing there was one more piece of clutter in the house.
one more game with 8,000 pieces, I might add. Like, what in the why? Why was I even considering that? Like,
This
so
is
it works for business, it works for personal. It's just taking a second and going. Marley asked a question before we started this, and I literally had a physical reaction to it. Do you want to tell them what the question was?
Yeah, I said a really good question when you're thinking about making a buying decision is to ask yourself, is this a need or a want? And Becca instantly was like, I hate that question because sometimes there's something that I want and I don't buy it right away, but like months go by and I still want it and then I want to buy it.
Mhm.
And I think that that's a really, I said, yeah, like I totally agree with that. I think that the question needs to be asked almost in two parts. And Becca was thinking of it like being a now or never question. Like there's this thing, I want to buy a new phone. Do I need it or do I want it? Okay, I only want it. So that means I can't have it. And that's actually not what I meant by it at all. But that's where your mind went with that question
Immediately.
And I was like, okay, let's take a breath on that. But here's what I want to say. If you need a phone, if your phone is broken and it's like dangerous because and you already replaced the screen and maybe something else isn't working with it and like you need a new phone. So then you get the phone or you prioritize saving for the phone.
Mhm.
If it's just a want, maybe we look at that. So then, okay, it's a want. That doesn't mean I can't buy it. That is limiting. That is a very like lack mindset. However, if you don't have the money for something and you want it, then you can't have it right now. You need to make a plan to make more money or to stop spending somewhere else so that you can make up for the budget. So the want isn't necessarily can't have this. It's a want. Okay, do I have the money for it? Do I have the budget for this, especially in our business, right? Does my business have the extra income or have the savings to justify this want that I need that would maybe save me time, maybe would make something else more simple. The want is then a series of different questions. It's like, those charts you see where it's like, if it's yes, you go to this one. And if it's no, you go to this one. Well, it's like, is this a need or a want? Yes or no? And then you go, if it's just a want, you go this way. And then now there's another series of questions to ask yourself around that want.
Yeah.
So it's just to look at your spending patterns and to see, am I constantly buying things that I want in the moment? Or am I buying things that I want really thoughtfully and through time and through looking at my money and knowing my numbers and knowing without a shadow of a doubt, yes, I can afford this thing. And I think we often see so much impulsive buying or just buying with the whole, it'll work itself out. I'll figure it out down the road. My credit card, it can just sit on there for a while. We see
Mhm.
that a lot.
Yeah. Well, in my case, and I'm just going to be totally transparent, this is the thing that's going to make everything easier. And this is the thing that's going to make my family feel better. And it's going to make the schedule amazing. No, it's not. It's really not. I'm the person who's going to do that. And if I'm not doing that, this thing's not even going to work. So I just, you can spend money. Absolutely, you can spend money. And does it align with the values that you have in place for yourself, for your business, for your family? We talk about this a lot with our clients. Values is like a big word, right? Like, what does that even mean? Where do you want to spend your money? If you could close your eyes and you knew you had all of the money that you could ever need, where would you choose to spend that money? In our house, it is experiences, it's travel, it is making life simpler here at the house, not necessarily convenient, but like simpler. And it's making sure that we have what we need 10, 15, 20 years from now. Those are our spending values. So when that stupid game on Amazon popped up, I was like, ooh, fun. And then I was like, wait, that doesn't make my household simpler at all. In fact, that makes me crazy thinking about all the pieces that have been kicked under the couch that I'm going to vacuum up in 2 weeks. So, no, I'm not going to buy this thing. Like, it can be as simple as that. In your business, it can be a lot more difficult, though, honestly, because marketing is really good. Social media marketing is really good. And it can be positioned as the thing that can get you to whatever goal you have set for yourself. So it's up to you to have whatever boundaries you need to have in place to say that's not a need for the business right now. The need for the business is this hole or this gap or this struggle, right? The sticking point right here. And if I don't see something that I've been looking at for a while that can fill that gap exactly the way that I need it, then I'm not gonna buy. And Marley and I have even taken that a step further the past, I'd say like 6 months. We've already decided there will be no teaching us how to do anything from this point forward. You're going to be hired to do it for us because I don't want to learn any more parts of this business. Quite frankly, I've learned all that I want to learn for the part that I want to play in the business. And we are happy now to hire service providers to do the thing for us, to build the thing for us. So when a coach is out there saying, I don't know, this is going to help get you to,
I
I
can
don't even
teach you
know.
how to write an email series.
I can teach you how to write an email series. I'm like, that sounds so fun for someone else, but not for me. Like, it's not for me. So it's just about knowing where you are right now. It's as simple as this. Where are you right now? Where do you want to go? And how does it look in your brain getting there? And is this purchase going to help you get there or is it going to keep you stuck where you are?
Yeah. And I think there's one more piece that we haven't touched on when it comes to buying. We somewhat did, but it's really like when you are sitting there ready, like, I want to make this purchase. This looks like it's going to be really good for me. The mindset that you're in that moment and the mood. So Becca, your mood and your mindset was really influenced by that video you saw. You saw a video, it touched and pulled on your heartstrings of your babies having so much fun and having this beautiful family moment together. And, and they really painted that picture. Like, we all know that when you actually sat down, the little ones were going to argue about who got to be the blue guy and the red guy. Like, right. It's never what it looks like. And so they really like put your mind in this mindset of like, you're going to have this if you play this game. Your family is going to be perfect if you play this game. And so the mood and the mindset that you were in was really influenced by that picture of this perfect family. And something similar happened sort of on the opposite side of that to me just yesterday. I was so frustrated and I almost bought something. I almost spent $600 out of frustration last night on a whim. And I even knew it. I was like, I'm about to buy this because I'm so pissed and I'm just going to buy it because it's going to fix it. My friend Hall shoes have been driving us nuts. It's winter. So everyone has 6 pairs of shoes out and boots and all the different types and work boots and regular boots and everyday shoes. And I have 6 people in my house. So there are just shoes galore. Like if everyone has 3 pairs of shoes times 6 people, it's a lot of freaking shoes. And so I was just frustrated by our front hall. And anyway, it's just like a whole thing. It's just a big room, but it's like awkward and there's no good places to put furniture. And it's just a really challenging room that I've never been able to make functional. And so I almost bought some furniture yesterday on a whim. And I was like searching down the TikTok hole and I was looking for something to buy to solve this problem. And it's not that buying that thing wouldn't have been a good idea, but I was like, Marley, maybe if you put a little bit more than just one evening of like an hour of rage shopping into researching this thing, you might be able to come up with something better and less money, because we're also renovating our kitchen. So we don't want to spend money right now in the front hall. And so there's just all these things that I was able to pull from my tool belt, even though I was mad. I was able to pull these good questions to ask myself and really like put it in the cart and then walk away. And now I'm looking forward to spending some time this week and maybe this weekend, really looking at what's possible, what's going to be the best option to solve all the problems that this room has. So this is what we mean when we're talking about in business, in life. Like this is the time, and these things were on sale, right? That's the thing last night. They're on sale. And so, it was looking real sexy for me to buy two cabinets for my front hall to solve my shoe problem. That was driving me crazy. But that mood factor is a big one. Like really, if you're shopping and you're feeling like you need to buy this now and you're just going to check out because that's probably a good indicator to walk away from the screen and walk away from the cart and come back to it in a day or so. And then really just start asking yourself, I think a question that I really love, like if I were to sum it up and I could only ask myself one question when I'm shopping, it's especially when you're convinced like, okay, this is going to solve the problem. The question that I always come back to is, okay, but what if I didn't buy it? Then what? Like how would I solve the shoe problem without these cabinets, without spending any money, or maybe with spending $75 instead of $600? Like what if that was my budget? Maybe I should go look at Walmart, because we don't have Target here in Canada. What if I went to Walmart and I looked at what they have? And maybe they'll have something. Maybe if I just go look, I could find something to solve the problem, even if it's an interim problem solver until we get our kitchen done. And then we could come back to the front hall when we're done that. Like just asking yourself, what if I didn't have any money to spend on this? How would I solve the problem? Because that gets you really creative. And it gets you really thinking about your money and your best use of your money, because that $600 I could put towards the vacation that we plan to take at Christmas. That is like a surprise, brand new vacation we're planning to take. Like we weren't budgeting for it. It's just decided we're going to do this now. So now we have this other expense that to me is more important. Like it's a value. So that $600 I'm potentially pulling away from this other thing that we want to do. So that's what we mean when we say ask yourself really good questions. It's like get creative, think outside the box. And it's not about not spending. If I had that $600 sitting there in my, emergency household fund and I wasn't renovating our kitchen, you better believe I probably would have clicked purchase last night.
Yeah.
But
it's about pattern disruption. It's pattern disruption. It's like your brain is on one track. Yeah. Depending on the emotions that you're in, the financial situation that you're in, the time of year, the time of day. I mean, quite frankly, as I get into the night, my brain is tired of making decisions. And like, if I could buy something that would help that, I'm probably gonna.
And it feels good to shop.
It does. Okay. Well, let's just call it what it is. It's a dopamine hit. Shopping, spending money is a dopamine hit, any way you look at it. And so if you know that going into spending, and you already know what your boundaries are around spending, and this isn't even what I want. I do not want to vacuum up any more freaking pieces of games and hear my kids crying, you vacuumed up. Like, I don't want any more of that. So like, stop buying the things that are you're vacuuming up the floor every day. Like, wait, I don't vacuum every day. Let me walk that one back real fast.
Let's get real here.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, it's just like knowing your buying patterns is a huge step in this process. Knowing how you in the past and how you frequently buy things. Is it on a whim? Is it because you had a bad day? Is it because you had a good day? Is it because you got some money in? We had a client on last Thursday who was like, I'm going to get like a couple $1,000s back from a refund that something didn't happen and I'm going to get that money back. And my first thought was, what can I spend that money on? That was her immediate thought. And so we had to interrupt her. We had to interrupt this thinking pattern and go, okay, but like, what if you didn't spend it? What if you did this? What if you did that? What if you could do a little of both? And it was a whole new world for her, right? But you have to do that for yourself sometimes. Marley and I have to do it for one another. I have to do it for myself. I have to do it for my husband all the time.
Mhm.
And honestly, sometimes my husband has to do it for me. If it's been a long week and I'm like, just go buy Chick-fil-A. He's like, yeah, but at the beginning of the week, you said we were not going to go Chick-fil-A this week. And I'm like, I did say that, didn't I? So, like, it's just being very aware of where you are and what's going on around you and your mental state, your financial state. It will help you make really good buying decisions or not buying decisions at Black Friday. Because remember, Black Friday happens every year. Do you remember what you bought last year? I don't. I have no idea if I even shopped Black Friday last year. Like, genuinely, you probably won't either next year. Just make sure whatever you're doing in the next couple of weeks when all of these deals start to come up, because a lot of people are dropping their Black Friday deals early so that they can get your money before everyone enters the race. Just be sure that what you're doing is taking you closer to your goals and not keeping you where you are today.
So I think what we'd love to do is invite you, whether you're in a place where cash flow is tight, maybe your business is new, maybe you make really good money, but you have a spending problem, or you just know that you're not making the most of it because you're just not in control of your money. You either don't know what's coming and going, or you don't know how to manage your money, which is just a really common problem. People just aren't educated on how to manage your money. And you feel like, well, I'm an adult, so I should know this by now, but no one ever taught you. If you just want to take one step closer, we'd love to invite you to join our free text list. Becca, do you want to tell them a little bit about our text list?
Yes. So this past year, the text list has been all about business and kind of setting the stage for when to think about things in your business and the money in your business specifically. What decisions you need to be thinking about going into different quarters or months or seasons of the year. Moving into 2024, it's going to be more of a, hey, I know you're thinking this right now. Let's walk through that. Let's find a way for you to move to the other side of those mindsets or the thoughts that you have, the stories that you tell yourself. We want to be the people who we understand you. We really do. We know what thoughts go through your head because they still go through our heads. And we know how hard money can be. We know how sensitive money can be, how personal and sometimes even embarrassing money can be. And we want to be the people in your literal back pocket who remind you every day. That's a picture of me. Who remind you every day, like it's not as bad as you think it is. And you don't have to be embarrassed by the end of 2024, you're going to have a whole new way of thinking about money. So join our text list and join us for the ride starting. You'll get texts this month, but 2024 is going to be really fun. So you're going to want to be on the text list and let us help you through it.
We're going to put the info for how to join the text list in the show notes below. You can always come over to Instagram, Mind Her Business Official, and the link is also always in our bio over there.